So I don't know about you. Okay, let's try that again. So I don't know about you, but I've been noticing a pretty large trend this year. And no, I am not talking about Bitcoin, Dogecoin, digital currencies. It's not the channel for that, guys. Not the channel for that. Unless there's some money in it, then your boy's all about it. Right, cut that out, cut that out. Gotta seem genuine for the people. Now, the trend I'm talking about is it seems that a lot of people are migrating. We're just seeing a lot of people leave certain areas, areas that I tend to think have really highly dense populations, potentially harsh winters, really high costs of living, and what some might call potentially restrictive policies during this current ongoing, let's just say, precarious situation that the rest of the globe is facing along with America. Now, personally, I would speculate and maybe assume that these people in these different areas have started to wonder if all the money that they put into living where they currently are located is worth the quality of life that that area is currently providing. So, does that make sense to you? It does to me a little bit. Either way, we can actually look at the numbers and the trends a little bit, and we can see that there's certain states that kind of go along with my hypothesis where a lot of people are moving out of, and there are other states where people are just immigrating to in droves. You know, enough people cannot go. Not enough people can go. That's the words, guys, that's the word. One of these states that is worth noting is Colorado, actually, because it turns out when you look at the numbers and the different states that are getting a lot of people coming in, Colorado is just behind Texas, and I don't know about you. God damn it! But all I hear nowadays is how this and this person is moving to Austin, Texas. That's all I hear. Or maybe just out of touch comedians that want to keep a little bit more of that money that they're getting from the state. But hey, can't blame them. So it turns out your boy over here actually has some personal experience living and, you know, being the big dog in Denver. I could even say that with a straight face. So anyway, I think I have some really valuable information and insight to share on living in Denver, you know, Colorado, but specifically the Denver area, and why you might potentially want to move there, and I might be able to inspire you a little bit because I got some good reasons. Reason number one, you can meet their demise with Lucifer at the airport. All right. In all reality, my number one reason I would recommend moving to Denver or Colorado in general is the pure sense of adventure. Yeah, I know. Anytime you go somewhere new, it's gonna be a bit of an adventure because there's a bit of uncertainty, there's gonna be new sights and people that you'll come across inevitably. But Colorado and Denver in particular, for me, I had a huge sense of adventure the whole time. Let's pretend my balls didn't just drop on camera. And why is it actually an adventurous thing to do? Well, I don't want to spoil the fun because I'm going to dive a little bit more into that with these next few things to do, but just this subjective feeling you have living in the city and Colorado in general is just, for me, the number one thing to do. That's why I put it on the list, guys. So when you're in Denver, you have the beautiful opportunity of being in the city, and then just 30 minutes or so away, you can already be at the beginning of number two, which is mountains. Now, it would be blasphemy to discuss Colorado without even talking about the Rocky Mountains, which for me are one of the most distinguishing factors that are in Colorado. And the beautiful thing about them is even if you're not all into being outdoorsy or you don't want to hike or explore them, which GTFO if that's the case, because you're missing out. But even if that's not for you, which I've met some people, incredibly, who had no interest in going in the mountains and having fun and all that stuff, which you're wasting a beautiful state, guys. I need to say that. You know, hot take. But either way, even if you're not into all that, you can really appreciate them from afar. Whether you're in the city, you're in a suburb, you're walking around a city park, or even down the downtown city streets, you can see them in the distance. And they're kind of like a little buddy. Terrible analogy. They're not little at all, and they're not a buddy because they're inanimate objects. But there's something that's always there, and you can kind of see how they progress through the year. In the winter, you can see as the snow starts to reach those higher altitudes before you, and it's a really pretty sight. And then as the temperature starts to change, you will see the snow start to fade. And of course, it's beautiful to see an amazing sunset over the mountains. People paint pictures of these things for a reason, guys, because it's absolutely mesmerizingly, astonishingly captivating. Either way, once the snow starts to melt, you'll start feeling that warm weather due to Colorado's amazing Weather. Now, I really didn't expect it to be as nice as it was, mainly because the first time I ever went to Colorado to do a little bit of apartment shopping, it was snowing in May, and I'm like, you know what, actually, I want to cancel my lease agreement because fuck this. Now, the weather there absolutely blew me away. Honestly, over 300 days of sunshine, although I started to question if that is a legitimate statistic, because some days it's sunny for a little bit and then you might experience sleet or hail, and then it might be cloudy for the rest of the day. Does that count as a sunny day? I don't know. I'm not the stats guy. Don't shoot the messenger. But the weather is nice. It really is sunny a majority of the time. You don't get as much rain, which also plays into the part that I didn't really understand before I went either, which is it is a semi-arid sort of climate, so it's very dry. In addition to the altitude, the air quality means you'll definitely want to drink more water and more fluids and all that sort of thing. But either way, it's really sunny all the time. And yes, it does snow during the winter, not like some people might experience on the East Coast or in the Midwest. Your boy's a Midwest boy, I know winters. But you will get some big snowstorms, undoubtedly. But it won't stick around forever because A, the temperature rarely drops below 30. It's always a relatively moderate winter by what I'm accustomed to. And it's going to be sunny, so the rays of sunlight will start to not only melt the snow, but on those colder winter days, you still get the sun, which feels great on you, and you can still go outside and walk around and really take advantage of the beautiful weather that Colorado provides. Even during the summers when it might get in the 90s, the humidity is extremely low. So you can definitely still go out and about, and you won't want to kill yourself. You won't want to not leave your air-conditioned apartment. You can still go out there and maybe you just find some water to try and, cool off in, but it's really doable, especially if you're from somewhere that has humidity. Now, one of the best things about living in Denver, which I think is often overlooked, or maybe it's not, maybe everyone's saying it and I'm just late to the party, it happens guys, is its amazing geographical location. Now that being said, I'm not just talking about being close to the Rocky Mountains, I'm talking about its close proximity to some other amazing destinations that are definitely worth your time. So for example, if you just want to take a little day trip, let's say that you're enjoying Denver, but you want to go out and see some other things and do some other activities, you have Fort Collins, which is only an hour or so away. You have Colorado Springs, which again is between an hour or maybe an hour and a half. You have Idaho Springs, which is an hour away to a nice little mountain town. And these are just a few different day trips. You have Vail, which is 2 hours away. You have places like Boulder, which are pretty much in your backyard, only being about 40 minutes or so from Denver, where the Flatirons are literally at your fingertips. And if you want to go on an actual vacation where you want to spend the night somewhere and get away from town for a bit, not just a day, you have plenty of options that you can just drive to for your car. For example, you can go to Santa Fe, New Mexico, which is a beautiful art town, only about 5 or so hours away. Through the Rocky Mountains across Colorado, you can be in Arches National Park, Utah, seeing some really impressive geological formations. It's only about 4 to 5 hours away as well. Within the state of Colorado, you have so many adventures awaiting you. If you want to go to Pagosa Springs, which I highly recommend, Glenwood Springs, Steamboat Springs. I just have a fetish for springs, apparently. But either way, you have national parks that you can visit that are an hour or two away to a few hours away. So really, there are so many options. You don't even really need to leave the state unless you want a drastic different climate to experience in order to have a good vacation, or just take a little mini 2-day vacation where you don't even have to take time off work or buy a plane ticket. Now, unsurprisingly, most of the people that live in the Denver area tend to take advantage of its amazing weather and its beautiful nature as much as they can during their spare time. And not just people that are active, but pretty much everyone I would encounter. I met a lot of people through different meetup groups because there's so many people that are trying to get together all the time to play soccer, volleyball, tennis, all these sorts of things. And besides this, people have lots of hobbies to go in the mountains, such as hiking. A lot of people just hang out and go on hikes together. It's like going to grab a beer, that sort of thing. Mountain biking, rock climbing, these are all things that people like to do in their spare time that live in Denver and Colorado area. But even more importantly, besides getting in the mountains and doing all these sports and activities, I have noticed there's a vast network of just walking trails. Not in the mountains, you can call them hiking trails, walking trails, whatever you'd like to. There are biking paths, there's plenty that are in downtown Denver, such as the Cherry Creek bike path that connects a bunch of different parks by the water and goes for several miles. And even in the suburbs, there's a vast network of walking, hiking trails, biking trails that connect different suburbs all the way down to Denver and Boulder. That's a lot of miles, guys. Some of my fondest memories of living in Colorado were just exploring these quiet little trails in my suburb and just looking at the mountain from the distance, going by the river, seeing these little groundhogs along the way. It really was beautiful, and I'm getting very nostalgic talking to you guys about it. All right, that was cringy as fuck. Please don't kill me. So based on my video thus far, you probably just think that Denver's not even a city. It's just like a little hippie town where everyone just hikes and plays games and goes on walks outside, right? Now don't be fooled. Although Denver is no metropolis like Chicago or New York or I don't know if I want to categorize Los Angeles as one due to it's a little bit more spread out, but it's a bigger city. So I think Denver is like the level tier right below that. Maybe you'd group it in with Seattle, maybe Nashville-ish, those second tier big cities. So it has a lot of cool things to do that cities would provide as well. So if you're a bit of a drinker or a party boy, or you just like getting wild and going out with your friends, then Lodo is definitely going to be for you. That's the lower downtown area. Now, if you're just a hipster that's moving to Colorado and you like to smoke the little the doobies, as my parents would call them maybe, and you like beer, you like craft beer, you're a connoisseur, and you got a nice twirly mustache, then you can check out the River North. That is the Rhino neighborhood, which is a little bit more artistic. There's lots of breweries and street art, that sort of thing. It's a little bit more hip, and so you can do that if you want to get your craft beer game on. There's also lots of other cool neighborhoods, such as South Broadway, where you have more of the dive bars sort of thing. Capitol Hill, same thing there. Got the Highlands, where it's a little bit more young, a little bit more neighborhood sort of vibe with trees up and down the hill. Really pretty place as well. Whether you want to drink, get some beer, go to a museum, check out some really cool public parks, go shopping, or you just want to hang out at a cafe and drink overpriced oat milk lattes. It has all the city things that you'd ever want, I promise. Or it does. Coming soon. So those are 6 of the biggest reasons why I would personally recommend moving to Denver, Colorado. However, there's a caveat. Your boy doesn't live in Colorado anymore. I moved there. I lived there for a nice little chunk of time. I really enjoyed it, but I left. It wasn't enough to keep me. It didn't have everything I wanted for some reason. So should you actually move to Denver? Are there any reasons you shouldn't move to Denver? Why might it not be for you? Why might you want to reconsider? What are the potential negatives? What are the cons? How many times can I say the same thing? If you want to hear those, then please leave a comment down below, because I would love to give a balanced view of an amazing place. Again, these are just my 6 biggest reasons. I could start naming things like, oh, the housing market. That's just not favorable. The job market is very open and lots of opportunities, but honestly, that probably is a good reason why I should consider living somewhere, but I'm a little bit more of a romantic and a little bit more selfish with my own desires and interests. So if that's something you want to do, maybe check out another video that goes a little bit more into the pragmatic, practical, adulty sort of things, because your boy is a 12-year-old in a 25-year-old body. So thanks for watching the video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe if you want to see more travel-related footage. Unfortunately, the Colorado footage is going to be limited from this time on because I live there. I made videos while I was there, but I kind of want to let that fade a little bit away. That chapter of my life is definitely over, and I want to focus on new adventures and an exciting future that lies ahead of all of us. So with that really nice nugget of wisdom that this dimwit has left for you, peace.